Hello, welcome back to the Mobius Archives. This is your host, Mobius Rex, and we are playing Agrarian Skies. Alright, I wanted to see whether this is done. I have set up basically a cyclic assembler. Whoops, and I'm syncing here. Give me a second. To basically output up into this liquid crafter so that we can make some supreme pizzas. We have 64 here. And these supreme pizzas actually count for one quest. Go with the flow. No, sorry. The end. 5-star chef. 64. Oh, you're kidding me. Apparently you can't use an autocrafter for this. Damn it. I just use an autocrafter and liquid crafter to craft all these supreme pizzas, and apparently all I can use them for is to eat. Huh, how frustrating. Oh well. Sometimes that's how the pizza crust crumbles, I guess. I can't make this trigger just by doing that, can I? No. Alright, so I guess I have to make those by hand next time. But here we had a couple recipes to make fresh water, and then to make a pizza out of that. And here we're just making up the supreme pizza by adding the onion, the bell pepper, and the spice leaf to it. Apparently I need to get 64 of everything again, but we'll do that some other time. Alright, well, since we don't get the 5-star chef, sorry, let's check out for the hoarding. One of the things I wanted to take a look at was digital storage because through the same strange science and possibly dark magic, the Organized One has created a system that allows you to store items in a digital format, send them out to machines for processing, bring them back, and then craft them into new components and resources to be sent out and used to expand your factory. Once you have a basic AE storage system in place, you may want to consider a molecular assembler. This multi-block device will allow you to use coded patterns to craft items auto-magically. Interfaces will allow you to tell various machines to process sand into grass or create tesseracts on command. This is great because it does a lot of the auto-crafting for us. So especially for something like this, the ME drive, was it slightly painful to make any of these 1K storage drives. This will actually help us out a lot. So, what do we need? The molecular assembler is created from a frame of containment walls. The sides are filled with heat vents, and the center is filled with a mix of crafting CPUs and pattern providers. Placing a coded pattern inside the pattern provider of a correctly formed molecular assembler will allow you system to craft that item on command. The smallest ME assembler is 3x3x3 with room for one pattern provider. Alright, so we get additional ME interfaces out of this, a yellow heart. But we need assembler containment wall, just one. One ME pattern encoder, one ME blank pattern, one ME heat vent, one ME pattern provider, and one ME crafting CPU. Alright, let's start taking a look at these. ME crafting CPU needs this diamond, the ME advanced processor, which is a cooked up diamond, more or less. I need silicon. There we go, 4 silicon. And oh, I have one of these. Ha, funny. One ME advanced processor, and the ME crafting. Where'd it go? CPU. It's just that advanced processor, a little bit of glowstone, some iron. Good. There's one of them. I think we needed a containment wall. There it is. ME assembler containment wall. And that's gold and a Certus quartz crystal. We need more gold and more iron. There we go, more gold. And that just makes up the containment wall. Right there. What else do we need? Encoder, blank pattern, heat vent, and pattern provider. ME encoder. Looks like that. We need a conversion matrix. Can I make one of these? Yes, I can. Are we out of iron? We might be out of iron. Let me go grab some iron. Alright, where were we? Pattern encoder. Here you go, one pattern encoder. Blank pattern, heat vent. Make up the heat vent next, just because it's the only thing that doesn't say pattern. Heat vent. ME cables. One heat vent. And we just look for pattern now. Just look for the right pattern. Pattern encoder. Blank pattern. Got one of those. Guess I don't want to toss that in there. Probably didn't want to toss the heat vent in there either. We need the pattern provider. And that's another one of these advanced processors. So we have a couple of these conversion matrices in there already. We need a storage cell. Just make it like that. Pattern provider needs one of these advanced processors. Grab one of those. And we could cook it up. Just cooking up some iron right now. Well, we could displace that for a second. And yes, I'm not being particularly efficient with my iron generation. I think we have enough just being spat out. Like if we take a look at iron, of all the types of irons, we have enough being spat out by every little thing. Only the iron ore dust can be smelted in the high oven for triplication. But the other ones can be cooked up in your redstone furnace. And that's how I do. What are we looking for? Well, no, I got that back. Pattern provider. Really? Crafting table. There we go. Pattern provider. That should satisfy the quest. And give us ME interface, etc., etc., etc. Put that on. Heart canister. So now we have 2 of those. Get a reward bag. It's a greater reward, which gives us pneumatic servos. Not bad. I still use quite a bit of them. Not as often as I like. Now, this is actually one of those devices that I do want to make, and I do want to make it now. Question is where? So I'll need more of these containment walls. Break down some of these gold blocks. Alright, I think we need 20 blocks for the containment room. Containment wall. So I think what I'm going to do is just put it down here, for lack of a better place. Fortunately, I can fly, so I could just put it here. Just build it 3 by 3, as the instructions just said. Like so. There we go. Now we need 6 heat vents for the outside. And 1 in here. Need more iron, of course. And more iron bars, apparently. There we go. Our 6 heat vents just in time. We used up all of our iron bars. I'm just going to place 5 of these. And I've completely forgotten where I've put this already. Alright. So the heat vents need to go on the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the center, we actually put the crafting CPU, from what I understand. And the heat vent on the outside. And did I botch it? I might have botched it. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Apparently I did this wrong. Not surprising. I do goof up a little bit. You take out the crafting CPU. You turn on your mysterious magnet. Take out the crafting CPU. jump some junk. And you put the pattern provider in the center. And the heat vent. Like so. And that gives you, ta-da! ME molecular assembler chamber. So this is where you do all of your ME crafting. The reason you can't put an ME crafting CPU because it doesn't fit. So this way you get one free crafting CPU. If you make it bigger, you do have to provide all of your own. You can make it bigger and get more patterns to provide. I'm going to hook this up to our system. I'm just going to need a few ME cables. So say I wanted to make ME cables. What we can do is actually take the ME cable, put the pattern in the pattern encoder. So I put the pattern encoder here to show that you don't need, see, no lines, no cables. You don't need cables to make this work. And you can just encode this pattern, put it in there, drop down, take a look at your assembler, put the encoded pattern in here. I'll put this up here. And then when we need cables, we can actually go ahead and go craft. And just craft one. And now we have 4. So auto-crafting those cables, awesome. If there's something more advanced we need, we might have to use these ME interfaces. But for now, that's it. And that gets us a nice little cable system, allowing us to go farther, further, faster. And of course, up next, ME 16 million storage. If the default storage ability of Applied Injustice isn't quite enough, Extra Cells has plenty of extra room. Which, given what we're collecting for Agrarian Skies, which is to remake the world, not surprising. So how do we make this? Diamonds? Actually, let's look in here. So, quartz glass, which I don't think we have any of, but we can make. And this Terra storage cluster, which requires one of these ME advanced processors. And some of these giga storage clusters, and some of these mega storage clusters, and some of these kilo storage clusters, which requires a storage cluster, which requires a storage block, which requires a storage segment, which requires a storage cell. See what I'm getting at? So for a storage cell, we might want to get a few of these blank patterns. So the first thing we might want to encode is how to make a basic processor assembly. So some silicon, etc., encode that into one of these patterns. But to get from that, to the storage cell, which is this, the ME basic processor, we need to actually put that, oh, hold on, that's not right. Put this basic processor assembly through a smelter. Alright, so first off, set down here, and just put this pattern in so we could just make those up. We can see it here, basic processor assembly. Let's just craft one. There we go. And before I start messing with this, get my iron out of there. And toss this basic processor assembly in there. There we go. Now if we pop back with that processed basic processor assembly, we just add it to there. Or add it to there. There we go. And encode that. So that basically says craft one ME basic processor. Let me turn off my mysterious magnet for a second. Yeah, I just had to pull that out of my inventory briefly, so that everything that started moving towards me down there goes away. All right. So I need to move this pulverizer briefly, as I want to place this here and tell it to go up into the redstone furnace. Right, and then we'll take this ME basic processor, put it in here. And we'll just go ahead and say, oh, we also have to connect it with our cables. There we go. So connecting this ME interface. Not the prettiest solution right now, but it works. Connecting this ME interface here will actually tell it that it can try to build a ME basic processor just by using that. Not entirely right. I don't think I encoded this right. I need one of these, because I told it to craft something from nothing. No, we want that. And we want that. So if you do screw up the pattern, hold it in your hand and right-click while sneaking, and that'll clear out the pattern. So using one of these, basic processor assembly, and one of these, you can encode that pattern, put that into your ME interface for whatever device you want it to use. I pointed that interface directly up into there. So now if we wanted to craft one of these, it should toss one of these basic processor assemblies in. Now it puts that in there, but it doesn't export it back out, does it? Well, one way to do this is obviously to craft an interface, or rather, an import bus. This your basic one will do, I think. Basic import bus, and can we just attach it to there? No, because that's not actually an output, so give me a second. And now if I output on this side, we actually get that processor. Let's take that out of there. Try to craft one more. Begin. We should... this is failing because we're out of silicon. Alright, let's see if we can actually craft one of these. Begin. So you can see it's gone into there, cooked up, pulls out of the system, pulls out of the system, pulls out of the system, and we should have... There we go. Basic processor from our very basic stuff. Awesome. Alright. So I'm going to get a little bit more of this auto-crafting stuff set up. I am going to pull that out of my inventories for a second just so that stuff drops away. And this has been Mobius Rex from Mobius Archives. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, leave us a like, leave us your comments and suggestions, and we'll be with you next time. Have a good day and a wonderful night. Bye-bye.